Hey, shalom, shalom. Starting off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makak, Wadash. Peace and double honor to the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. We're getting into a lesson now, touching on, well, the title is a clickbait title, but it's based off of something that the elders and the brothers in Dallas for their Passover, pre-Passover lesson. It's a reference to something they said. I'm not going to mention what it is. But if you want to know the reference, then watch that video because it was a Tawab video. It was a great video, very edifying and uplifting. But it is in reference to something that came out recently, which was very spiritual because we had some trouble finding the bitter herbs, man. The bitter herbs were hard to find, which is spiritual because the truth is hard to find. You know, even though it's out on the forefront, you know, it's like a hidden gem. And not many will be able to attain and receive this truth. All right, but as brothers were finishing service and heading home, started checking out some videos on the way back. We had a long drive, and brothers started watching videos about this individual, Assad from Sakari, complaining about the bitterness of the horseradish. All right, and basically bitching up, you know, making brothers look bad. Which is a reference to the elders in Dallas. What they said, it was funny. But it was a great video. But you know, the main point is this: is that the truth is bitter, and bitterness is good, man. All right, bitterness is good because when we first come in, it's understandable if you say, "Man, this is bitter." You might groan internally, but over time, what happens is we learn to love the bitterness. You know, we bask in the bitterness, man. And shit, me personally, I love the bitter herbs, man. I love horseradish because I know my body needs it. You know, and it ain't even that bad when you combine it with the unleavened bread and the lamb. That covers up a lot of it, anyways. And yeah, you're gonna have the vapors coming up your nose and all that. That's good though. You need that, man. Hey, I'm gonna give a quick testimony through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that uh I have, you know, like certain inflammation issues, right? And after that whole day, I was eating horseradish root because brothers couldn't find it anywhere, so I had to go and get it out on LI because it's pretty hard to find nowadays. You know, I don't know if they purposefully make it scarce during this time of year, but was able to find it, chopped it up, and I had a couple pieces on the way to the Pasak, you know, to prepare, and I was just eating it all day. I was just eating that bitter herb all day, man, and I you learn to love it, man. You know, at first it hits you like, oh shit, you know, the vapors go all through your head, your eyes tear up, you start sniffling, all your sinuses get opened up. You know what that does inside of your body, man? It clears up a lot of things, man. And again, referencing the remnant save 144, the Yashawamba, and the brothers, I believe one of the brothers from San Francisco was there, one of the elder brothers. He started going into the health benefits of pungent, bitter things that they help to push things out. All right, push all that junk and toxic garbage that we have inside of our bodies, man. So the bitter herb is a great thing, man. The bitter herb is a blessing from the Lord, man. Everything is balanced, man. But you niggas want it to be sweet all the time, man. You know, that's why it's called bittersweet, because there's times that it's bitter and there's times that it's sweet. Okay, but you guys only want the sweet and not the bitter. So that was spiritual, man. And when you deal with lettuce being used as the bitter herb, there's a type of lettuce that's actually super bitter too, and it ain't the one that these guys are using. But but it was just the mindset and the spirit that he had behind it. That, oh, it's disgusting, it's too bitter. You know, it's a bitch made spirit, man. You know, it's a weak spirit to be in. And you know, the bitterness of the truth. What do you think Yahweh Shai was going through, man? You know, sweat and blood. He was going through that bitterness, man. He was going through that bitterness heavily. He didn't complain about the bitterness. He stood on business. He handled his business. See? But again, it's reflective of Revelation, I believe it's 10 and verse 11 or 10 to 10. It mentions that little book, which is the scriptures, all right? And it's sweet in your mouth, but in your belly it is bitter, right? Because when you digest upon the truth, when you first find out that you're an Israelite, oh, it's sweet. It's like the honeymoon phase. Oh wow, you know, dealing with the Holy Spirit, dealing with you. Now you have the breakdowns of the highest knowledge in the universe. But that doesn't come without some on the back end, man, which is that bitterness. All right, that bitterness hits you because once you realize, well, I'm here, I'm stuck in captivity, I'm waiting on these promises, and this hope of glory, then bitterness sets in. Being around, you get agitated by things because you know the true order of how things should be. So when you see the world around you, it's not reflective of a righteous world. It's reflective of a completely evil and fallen, wicked world, man. So the bitterness, the bitterness is why a lot of men fell out. Like we have mentioned Ringo TV in the pre-Passover lesson, and that was all the spirit. Because that guy Ringo TV, he's an example of somebody that couldn't handle the bitterness. He didn't count the cost. The scriptures mentions the seed that was sown among the thorns, man. The cares of this life did what? Choked it out. The cares of this life. You see, and a lot of you guys, we coming to find out that you just want to be celebrities and well known. If you took away the celebrity element and being an influencer and having clout because of the truth, which happens nowadays because guys are in it for the wrong reasons. If you took that away, a lot of guys, they wouldn't want to be in this thing, man. If they really embrace the straight gate being what? That position of difficulty. So the bitter, man, we got to deal with the bitter, and the bitter is good. The bitter is great. The bitter is needed. Okay. You know, there's elements. You know, there's the unleavened bread, there's the bitter herb, there's the lamb, and there's the yayan, the wine. Even the wine, you know, some brothers like to taste some, but you know, really wine is not like, it's not super sweet, especially the red wine. It's the element of it being bitter, right? So, and the Lord is balanced. He gives you the lamb. The lamb, you know, the lamb has a much more satisfying taste. But again, horseradish, it's like a delicacy, man, to be honest. Especially showing you, you know, you can see that by how hard to find it is, man. You can make a sauce out of it. You can do a lot of things with that horseradish root. But what it does is it destroys blood clots. All right. It helps with your digestive system. All right. Like the elder, I forget the brother's name, so Bible Kushah, forgive me. But he mentioned, the elder from San Francisco mentioned in that lesson that it kickstarts your whole digestive system, because brain fog and a lot of issues, it starts in the gut. And it's based off of our diets, man. So, you know, these guys clearly ain't got it, man. These guys clearly, they don't understand what this thing really is. You know, they don't understand what they're truly a part of, you know? And that's okay if you just came in as a babe, like fresh out the world, and you guys been around for some time now, to where you should have an understanding of what you're a part of. That the bitterness is a major part of this thing, all right? You Think the prophets with you think what the prophets dealt with is sweet? Oh, it's bitter, man. You know, that's why the brothers brought up Boosie, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't cut his dick off, man. Nigga Boosie's a damn fool, man. But hey, he be saying some shit sometimes too. But you know, getting back to the point, the bitterness of the truth is something we should learn to embrace. Okay, and when you eat those bitter herbs and you tear up, that's supposed to represent the sorrow that's associated with captivity and also the sorrow that our Lord Yahweh Shai went through, man. You think that it's just a coincidence? We just, you know, the spirit has us eating the horseradish root, man. You know, because there is other herbs you could technically say, well, okay, this qualifies a bitter herb, but the spirit is on us to have the horseradish, all right? And again, these things are all spiritually discerned, you know? The horseradish root, when you bite into it, your your eyes swell up. Okay, you gotta close them and open them up, and you start. You know, some brothers start sweating. You know, you gotta embrace the bitter though, man. Get to the point where you just start popping them like M&Ms, man. With them bitter herbs, man. But you guys, you know, we're finding out that you don't have nothing to do with Yahweh Shai, even though you proclaim it. You know, yeah, that's right, brother. Shalom to the brother Shamyar. He was eating the bitter herbs. He was dealing with it. We were all dealing with it, man. We didn't shy away from the bitter herbs, man. They think shit is sweet. Exactly. You know, it's disgusting. Come on, bro. What's wrong with you, man? You know, these guys be sounding real. You know, I'm gonna just keep it real, man. You be sounding effeminate talking like that, man. You know, I mean, shit. So the way your former leaders moving, man, that ain't even surprising. Apparently, hey, birds of a feather flock together, man. You know, don't be surprised if that nigga don't pop up with a purse and some heels next time, man. You know, because y'all think shit is a fucking game, man. Everything's play with you niggas, bro. So, you know, the bitter. Yeah, this brother's hilarious, man. Nah, for real. Unruly children. They complain about stuff like that. I don't want to eat it. And shut up and eat it. Because I said so. You see? But that's the mindset of unruly children, man. Yeah, my son, he eats his kale, man. He eats his kale, man, because I told him, listen, I'm gonna take away all your shit if you don't eat it. Straight up. If you're too lenient with children, man, what happened? They're gonna run all over you, man. They can't differentiate. You know, they're not gonna respect you, man. You see? But these guys, man, you know, again, rebellious, unruly children. And clearly, you know, the Lord be having these guys say certain things. They don't think it's they might do a response or they might not. And they'll probably justify it. You know, but these things are spiritually discerned. The way that it comes out is all spiritually discerned. And if you ain't spiritual, it'll be a stumbling block because you'll say, well, you know, does it have to be horseradish and that? Well, that's what the spirit has it at. All right. You know, and so long as the Lord allow us, that's what we're going to be eating at the Pesach, man. All right. I look forward to that, man. I look forward to the bitter. That's a part of the experience, man. You see? But that goes to show if you're gonna bitch up about that, what's gonna happen down the road when the real adversity comes? It's just a bitter herb, man. You serious? You can't handle a little bitter herb, man? Or you think when Jacob's trouble comes, you just gonna snap into a Slim Jim? Come on, bro. You see, adversity reveals a lot of things, though, man. You know, then shall be known who are my chosen. But how are the chosen going to be known? There's going to be a fire set. A fire is going to be applied, man. As it is to gold. A fiery tribulation. And the reason why we get into these things is because we're preparing our minds for what's to come. You see, but it's no surprise. Y'all were the ones who had the Passover with a bunch of whores and sluts around. I couldn't even imagine, man. I would feel so guilty having done what y'all did, man. And yeah, you could have asked for forgiveness from the Lord, and the Lord could forgive you, and at the same time, the Lord may not forgive you. You see, if he feels like you ain't sincere, or for whatever reason the Lord sees, yeah, you could ask for forgiveness. That don't mean the Lord got to do it. All right. And many will say in that day, Lord, Lord. People gonna be begging and asking the Lord in that day. You think the Lord is gonna save everybody? No, he's only saving the elect. After all the wickedness these people done, they're gonna try to at the last moment repent. Or some of them are just gonna stick to their wickedness and pride. But either way, the Lord's only gonna save the elect anyways, man. But you think, well, yeah, I repented, Israel. So, that's a self-willed. The fact that you just assume that you're forgiven instead of saying, Lord's will, I'm forgiven. I know I went off. I hope the Lord have mercy on me. I repented already. Forget about it. That's the type of mentality these guys have, man. We already over that, man. Leave it alone instead of taking the rebuke with humility. You see? But yeah, that bitterness, man, that's a beautiful thing. I love the bitterness, man. You learn to love it. It ain't always, when you deal with things in life, it ain't always, sometimes you have a spiritual low or whatever, but overall, being in this truth, what do you learn? You learn to love the bitterness. You learn to love pain. Because that means you're going through the sufferings of your Yahushai, man. You are a companion to your Yahushai in suffering because he suffered. So if we're suffering in a wicked world, then that's a good thing. You see? That's a great thing, man. We should be suffering in this wicked world. Now it's going to be a balance. The Lord's going to have you up sometimes, going to have you low. He's going to have you in the middle. You don't want to get too high off the highs or too low off the lows. But overall, what is the Spirit saying right now, man? To embrace that bitterness. Don't run from it. Yahushua didn't run from it. All right. Hey, Jonah tried to run from it, but he ended up back right where he was supposed to be because he's of the elect. All right. So embrace the bitterness, man. Embrace the bitterness. Okay. And that's pretty much the point. The point was made. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua by Hashem, Machak Wadash. Hey, shalom to the next one.